Hey guys, it's your boy Darty, coming at you with another weekly analysis on the S&P and the Nasdaq. Again, this is the S&P on the left side of the screen, Nasdaq on the right side. Again, what I always like to do is highlight my value areas right at price closed at the previous week. So as you can see, I have them highlighted. These are weekly profiles currently. So currently on the S&P, we had a pretty extensive drop down. Looks like probably about 150, 160 points. So again, kind of my volume node and value area that I'm going to be looking at is about this 4140 to 4145, this high volume edge right here, all the way down to this previous week's low right around this 4121 to 22 area. So NASDAQ kind of similar. They have a little bit more Gaussian curve on it. So I'm looking at about that 14,250 to about 14,375 to 85 area. So if we look at the daily profiles, you can kind of see what Friday closed as on the S&P, and then Thursday and Friday we kind of traded within that range on the Nasdaq. So you can kind of see where I'm drawing that area on the bottom side. It's almost these value area lows over here. So again, kind of looking at about that 14,250 to about 14,375, 70, 80, 75 to 85 area, somewhere in that ballpark. So that's what I'm looking for. So what I'm wanting to see whenever the market actually opens up, I want to see what MGI gets created over the night. I want to see where volume is going to build. Are we going to continue building here? So let's see if we go to composite profile. Again, composite profile is roughly about the past 30 days. So what I'm looking for is volume build. Are we continuing to build within this area? Or are we going to break lower and continue lower? So with that being said, same thing with the S&P. Keeping awareness of this LVN at the 4145 area. Same thing on NASDAQ. I'm paying attention to this area about 14,210 to 14,170. Just having awareness of that, not really tradable information, but to have an awareness of that. Those were some low volume areas. Now again, this is yellow box on both the S&P and the Nasdaq. This is order flow labs balance areas. So we're looking at the 4122 all the way up to about 4200, and then roughly 14400 all the way down to 14,180 area. That is a balance area, so we are anticipating two-way trade until we break out of this area. So that is all I am looking for. I want to see volume build outside of these areas. If we continue in this area, I'm expecting two-way trade. Kind of the same thing with this S&P. We have this low volume area right here at this 4170. So 4170, I will anticipate some sort of reaction. So if we get above 4145 area, I would anticipate 4170 to be tagged. I would look for a potential reoffer to come back down. But if we get above 4170, I would be looking to trade toward 4200. Kind of the same thing, same scenario on the NASDAQ. If we get above this 14,385, I would look for this 14,450 area for a potential reoffer. If we get above 14,450, I would look for 500, then maybe even this 585. Again, we get above, I look for a build and a push higher, and we could literally just build volume and fill out this thin print. Same thing on the S&P. We could sweep higher to this 4170, come back down, retest this 4150 area, come up to the 4200, and build higher. If that is not the case, again, these are my value areas that I'm looking for. If we break lower, looking for a push and then a retest lower. Same thing over here. We push lower, look for that volume build, and a stair step down. So if we come out of this area, potentially 210, I'd look to reoffer this area, come back down to 170, reoffer the 210, and potentially make new previous week lows. So that is my high time frame analysis. Again, two-way trade within this area, larger time frame, bigger balance area, 400 to roughly 175, 180. Again, 41, 120 to 4200. That is overall higher time frame balance area. So if we look at the weekly, you can kind of see the average week over the past 6 months looks like about 110 points, anywhere from 130 points. So roughly 120 points, give or take, on the S&P will be average. Same thing, 550 to 600, give or take, somewhere in that ballpark is average weekly range on the NASDAQ. So if we were to look at that, those 600 points, if we wanted to draw that down, so where we're at right here, 265. Let's move this up. So these could potentially be your targets. All the way back to previous week high, we do nothing but continuously move straight up, or it could push all the way down to 13,660. Same thing on the S&P, roughly 120 points. If we move straight down, there's roughly 120 points. So again, we could retrace all the way up to previous week point of control. Same thing. Not really tradable information, but just an awareness. So one thing I am paying attention to is the previous week point of control on the S&P is all the way up here at 4265. So the most volume was up here. So I just have an awareness of that. Not necessarily tradable information, but I have an awareness of the point of control is all the way up there. That's pretty much it. That's what I'm looking for. So again, going to wait for the market to open here in about 30 minutes and see what MGI gets created from the overnight session, and we can kind of fine tune our analysis tomorrow morning. Again, everybody, trade safe, trade smart. If y'all need anything, y'all know how to reach me. Thanks.